Hey guys, this is going to be a video of Nightfall and a replay of a pub that I played with him where he communicated and did a lot of things that made it really easy to win when he was playing carry. Just 2 weeks ago, he recalibrated his account to rank 110, and as you can see, he's already ranked 63. So he's been climbing rapidly. So I'd like to show you guys some of the things he's been doing that you can consider in your games to rapidly climb in MAR as well. Let's go ahead and get started.
Banana slam jam.
So first and foremost, I'd like to point out that he's playing Sven, and he is in a lane against Pangolier Marana. This is a very harass-heavy lane. Pangolier wears you down with his nukes, Marana gives you a lot of right clicks, and we talked in a video about how inefficient interaction is what we want to avoid. So he recognizes this, and if you look at his items, he has raindrops and wand. He's anticipating spells and defending himself against them. And then you're going to see what he does to minimize interaction as Sven. He's just going to right-click the creep wave out. So when we talk about the components of the treads that he has bought first, he bought the 2 components that don't give him move speed, because we're going to see his game plan is very clear for the laning phase. He walks up, and he right-clicks creeps as fast as possible, making it so that he's in lane against the opponent as little time as he can be, right? So even though you see the Pangolier harassing him a lot there, he's making it so the time that he can be harassed is basically the smallest possible window he can make. So the next component of playing carry that we want to consider is when the offlaner becomes a threat. So in this case, Pangolier just hit 6, and whenever you're against an offlaner that is a threat to you when they're 6 and they can potentially bring you down, what Nightfall is going to do here is the exact approach that we want, where we're going to start jungling. This is a part that a lot of you have gotten down. You know, you'll start this part jungling away from the lane. You want to make sure you don't jungle too close to the lane over here while Pangolier is pushing the lane in, because he can walk over it if Marana warded and scouted you out. They can maybe gank you over here. So notice how he's farming as far away as he can from the lane, like he's working his way away. He's going to stack a camp. And at this point, he can keep jungling, or he can go mid, depending on what's available. In this particular case, the Ember rotated top, so he's going to take the mid lane. But this is the component that a lot of you guys are missing, where he's left his lane because he's against an offlaner whose ultimate threatens him. And now that he's gone mid, he's defending this tower. Silencer's going to take his lane from him. As you can see, he's been pinging the Silencer to get there. Pangolier is going to initiate his roll onto the Silencer, and the second that happens, like literally the millisecond that Pangolier did this, Nightfall instantly TP'd back into his lane to help defend his tower. So this is a really common little swip swap that you can make with your support, urging them to take the lane over and then come back when they've either killed your support with the spell, or at least your support made them cast the spell in order for them to try to dive the support. And then he just works his way back through the jungle again. So as he's worked his way through the jungle, he's made the exact same rotation. Jungle all the way to mid lane to farm it. And now the time that he rotates to the top half of the map is he doesn't have TP. He's got his ancient stack farming item, the Mask of Madness. He didn't have that last time. And he's going to time it with stacking at the triangle. So this is just really good efficiency, and it's a signal for you guys to think about what items your hero needs in order to farm triangle efficiently. So something that Yatoro talked about in his Morphling guide was when he's playing Morphling, once he gets Morbid Mask Yasha, that's when he starts to looking to hit Ancients. So something I'm seeing from all these top-level carry players is that they have a very clear idea of when their hero is then able to do Ancients, and that's when they make their way to that side of the map if it is a hero that relies on the Ancients for farm. But notice that he stacked the Ancient camp, had his ulti available, has the Mask of Madness, but the mid lane is being pushed in. And it's really easy for the opponent to invade your Ancients if you let them push it in and then come after you right after that, right? So he's actually going to defend his tower first, using his ultimate to push that extra wave, and then he's going to use that same ultimate to farm the stack. So it's a really important note to think that if he didn't do that, he's basically making himself vulnerable to a smoke gank from the opponent. But by quickly pushing out the lane, he's protecting himself to go farm the Ancients. So it's a really cool way to like change your mindset on how to use your ult, mainly as Sven specifically. So one thing I've noticed is that most of these carry players, they will stack. Here he is stacking again at 13 minutes, and they will clear the wave every time first if there's a wave even remotely nearby. So in this case, he chooses top because it's a bigger creep wave, but he probably would have gone and pushed mid if this top wave wasn't there. So don't feel the need to stack and then farm the camps in immediate succession. Because remember, you will always have time to go back to the Ancients after you've cleared the top wave. A little bit of bonus tidbit for you guys here. Notice how that he's farming near mid lane, that he's going to posture towards a rune at 12 minutes in case the opponent mid goes there. See how we have a support and a support going towards this rune? He's posturing there just to see if the rune's there and the enemy mid goes there, we might get a kill. Fast forward to 14-minute rune, a hero that plays around the Ancients. He's also going to go for top rune. So this carry player is pushing lanes, farming stacks, and securing runes for his team while farming efficiently. That's the important part. So the big difference for AFK farming and this is the relevant things that he's doing on the map, such as defending towers like bottom. His TP to help the silencer immediately has kept this tower alive. That was 5 minutes ago that he did that. So a lot of times people will ask me how long you're supposed to stay on this part of the map as a carry. And a lot of Dota is just a very fluid game, like what's happening around you. So what's happened is he's already farmed these two camps right now. It's 14:30. He spent the first 30 seconds of the minute farming these two camps. And then he's going to walk up top to farm the small camp, and since nobody on the map is showing, he doesn't feel safe to go for the next creep wave. So he sees 15 seconds where there's absolutely no camps to farm in the vicinity where he feels safe. Like, he doesn't feel safe to walk up this hill by himself, but he has a ward down here that sees 2 camps available. So that's his signal to TP to the other side of the map. So there's usually not like a time in the game that you want to go back bottom like this. But what you can do when you see these moments where there's no farm around me, I see farm underneath the ward, is you can basically start the whole rotation that you did at 10 minutes over again. As you're going to see, he's working his way back through the jungle towards the mid lane. In this case, the reason why he didn't go for bottom rune, actually, is because our mid laner is bottom, and the only person in the middle lane is a Tiny with this HP. So it looks like he only goes for runes to help his teammates. He's not like the catalyst for being at the rune. He goes there if his teammates can enable him to be impactful as a carry. So during the game itself, he was communicating about why he went BKB. First off, our offlaner's a Dawnbreaker, counter initiation. Silencer, counter initiation. The opponent has silences, stuns galore, magic damage galore, and Ember doesn't have the ability to go in with impunity. So he said, guys, I'm going to buy BKB so I can run in. So when you're wondering about Blink Dagger or BKB on a hero like Sven, Blink Dagger usually means you're going to start the fight and your teammates will finish it for you, or you're following somebody else up that's already going in. In this case, he has a lot of counter initiation, he has a lot of utility, but he doesn't have somebody to run in for him. So he's buying BKB before the blink so that he himself can just run in. So right when he gets his BKB, they're going to smoke up with his other playmaker. That is super important. He says, okay, Tiny's my other playmaker, let's smoke up. And he's against Drow, so he's going to smoke into the triangle because Drow is also an ancient farmer. So we smoke into the triangle, and what's even better about this play, because he has BKB ultimate timing, this is like the dream timing for him in the game. He's been farming his entire life for this moment, and me and the rest of the team have no detection against Mirana. So all this going wrong, it's like his timing, this is the dream, and he is going to just leave. That is the important part. He's going to pop BKB, get 1 kill, and then just walk away and cut his losses. And these are the type of plays that were kind of supposed to go in our favor. That was his timing, but making sure that he doesn't pop his BKB too early and then using it to get 1 kill and simply accepting the loss. Another small thing is that he has been farming Ancients like 7 or 8 times so far this game. And this is the first time that he has done this exact move, where he drags the creeps to here and then starts hitting them. And the answer is very simple. The opponent's mid tower is taking damage, and nobody's defending it. So he knows that the opponent is likely ganking or doing something on the map that they consider more important than defending mid tower. So he is jungling the same camp that he would normally jungle while putting himself in a much safer position if they were to gank, where he would be much more likely to escape. But then the Drow showed and the Zeus showed, so he felt a bit safer. Playing around the rune once again. Notice how he's around pretty much every single rune that his teammates are around. Uses his Blink Dagger timing to get a crucial kill. Using the tail end of his ultimate to advance. This is a big thing. So he got a kill with his ultimate on the Pangolier with his Blink Dagger reveal. And because his ultimate's still going, and he didn't have to use his BKB, so he has everything available, after he gets the kill, instead of farming backwards through the jungle like a lot of people would do, he goes to the immediate creep wave in front of him and then cuts into the opponent Ancients to try to steal their farm instead. Which is even better considering that it's not too far into the minute, 20 minutes and 30 seconds, so these camps are likely unfarmed. And because his teammates are pushing the mid tower, he even elects to go help with the tower push, looking for more kills. That's a timing with the blink that was a kill, into creep wave, into invade, into tower take. So he's really hitting his timings every single time. Even if they're not working out, he's attempting to make a play with them. Here's another little small trick that he does. So he is farming his way through the jungle, making his way to bottom wave. And he sees an opponent hero clear the previous wave, and the next wave is pushing. So a lot of times you would normally just clear this camp and then go clear the wave that ET just cleared, right? You'd go clear this wave. But instead what he's going to do is give ET a chance to mess up. He's going to let this creep wave meet that next one and see if the ET's game awareness is there or not, if the opponent's going to come push it. Notice how he's like, hey, pinging, pinging, pinging. Let's wait on the side, give the opponent a chance to walk up and push this, give them a chance, give them a chance. The biggest emphasis about this is that there's no other camps near him to farm anyway. He would have to go all the way back here to farm. So he's giving the opponent a chance for him to get a crucial kill, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work out. Okay, now we show on the creep wave. So he's going to push this next creep wave. And what I would normally do here is I would farm backwards. There's a bunch of camps available. It seems like the obvious time, new minute mark. Oh, farm, 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 farm. But well, he sees the game much differently. He sees the game with ultimates available very soon. All of our other ultimates are available, the Dawnbreaker ultimate as well as the Silencer ultimate. So he calls for a smoke and looks to invade the exact same area because that's where Dire's likely farming at the start of the minute. Another crucial pickoff in the Pangolier. It's going to work very well because we have our ultimates available. Pangolier actually gets away, but the Mirana goes down. We've eliminated the team fighter on the opponent team. Even though the Pango escaped, he was taken out of the fight. Takes the opponent's farm, uses his ultimate to take their farm again, and then he's going to use this time to say, oh, okay, we've killed you. We've yoinked all your farm. Now we get to farm backwards when our ultimate is on cooldown. So one thing I'd really like to note about his items, past the Echo Saber, Mask Amanda's Blink BKB, these are very standard Sven items, is that Ember is a very good wave clearer, and Dawnbreaker is also a very good wave clearer. If you watch the way he's playing, he's actually showing on creep waves very rarely. So he's buying items that are all about ambushing the opponent. That's what this Shadow Blade does. It lets him play out of vision, hunting people, searching for kills, because he's already got the creep wave aspect of the game taken care of by his other cores. So when it comes to like after these standard items, it's really about where you fit into the game plan of your team. What do you feel like your other teammates are doing? Maybe their picks are good, maybe their picks are bad, but what are they doing? At my bracket, you can usually just assume the guy's going to play the hero the way it's supposed to be played. But for you guys, the things to consider with that 4th, 5th item is wave clear, objective taking, initiation, Roche taking, as well as who shows on the map and who doesn't. That's a big one. So he's going to play off map for pretty much the rest of the game. So one thing I would like to note about his pick is that we are against Drow ET. Drow's ultimate does damage through base armor, and ET's passive removes base armor. So he actually picked Sven last because Sven is the best hero in the game for giving his teammates armor. His entire team basically now counters Drow and ET as long as Warcry is available. So one thing I would like to note about the second Aegis, usually this Aegis is all about taking all of the outer tier towers and potentially going high ground, is that he is not the guy that shows on towers and shows on waves. The reason why it's hard for him to show on towers is because the opponent has a ton of long-range damage in the Drow and the Zeus, and he's also, we talked about how me on the Dawnbreaker and the Ember are the ones predominantly pushing lanes. He doesn't have items for showing himself to the opponent. He wants to sneak up on them. So that means he's not going to hit towers. So even though he's the carry hero at 30 minutes into the game, he's never hitting towers, and he's also a transformation hero where he's an ultimate base cooldown. If he doesn't have his ultimate, he's kind of useless, so the revive is not that impactful. So he's actually going to give the Aegis to the hero that does want to show on creep waves, being the Ember. And that's a strong consideration for you guys when it comes to who's going to take the Aegis, and something you can maybe think about after your games, during your games, that it might have been a better choice to give it to the guy that shows on creep waves. So my last little tidbit that I would like to point out from this game is his itemization to choose to go sheep as his next big item. It plays entirely into the way he's playing this game, even though it's not a very common item on Sven. The reason why he buys sheep over Basher or Abyssal is because, honestly, sheep is just a better item this patch, and he's going to have mana issues since he has BKB for mana, Silver Edge for mana, and all of his abilities also cost mana. So this is something I would like to show you guys where he gets his sheep, and I just want to fast forward and show you guys the way that he plays the game. Like, there are so many camps for him to farm right now, and he just skips all of them, looking for kills nonstop. Never showing himself on the map, never revealing himself on a creep wave. He knows he's the catalyst for all of our ganks now. So he's just going to zoom around the map, invis. The opponent is absolutely terrified. They have absolutely no idea where he is at all times. Notice how he's skirting their vision to see where they are, looking to set up. He knows the opponent's ready, so he's being patient. And he manages to catch the crucial kill onto the enemy carry, and it just makes it look easy. That was a minute and a half where he didn't show on the map or hit a single creep because he's already got all the items he needs, and he now knows it's his job to hunt. So there were a lot of cool little things that he did in this game that I thought that just made the game, from my perspective as an offlaner, super easy. And he was constantly communicating what his job in the game was. Like, all the things I'm telling you guys, he was just saying during the game. So there's lots to learn in terms of reliably climbing as a carry. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay analysis. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.